Hi guys, my name is Jonathan and I'm back today to bring you a video about my depersonalization triggers. Triggers. I hate using the word triggers because it's just like it just reminds me of just like triggered, but like this is like an actual trigger, you know what I mean? It's not just like some bullshit like safe space, like I need like trigger warnings, like it's like actually triggering shit. And I'm gonna tell you, I have like a list of like 6 things right here on my phone that I'm gonna explain. But if you have any of the same triggers or if you have different ones that you want to talk about in the comments below, I'll be responding to all your comments. So please let me know. Let me know if you have the same triggers. Let me know if you have different ones, and I'll get right into the video. So my first trigger that I have like written down is when I'm talking to somebody or a group of people and no one is seemingly listening to what I'm saying or responding to what I'm saying. And then I also wrote, it makes me feel as if I'm not existent, and it makes me feel as if I'm alienated from my environment. And if I'm alienated from my environment and my environment doesn't respond to me, then I feel even more alienated. So this is a big one for me. I'll be with my family or with my friends, and like they'll be like looking at their phone, and I'll be like, we'll be like already in a conversation. Then they'll pull up their phone, and I'll be like, well, did you like, what do you think about what I just said? And like they'll just be like, wait a minute, and like I'm like, no, like tell me. And I get pissed sometimes because it's like, if like we're having a conversation and you just all of a sudden stop talking, and it's not like I'm like, oh, I'm so important, you need to respond to me. It's not like that. It's just like I don't really give a shit. It's just that I need to know that I'm like existing. Like that's what the problem is. Like I don't really give a shit if you like respond like what you respond with. I just need to know that you're hearing me, and that like I'm manipulating my environment. That's like what I need to know. And like sometimes people just like, my mom does it a lot. Like she'll be on her phone and I'll be like, did you hear what I just said? And it's like it's making me feel as if my perceptions are like twisted and I'm not even talking to whoever. It makes me feel like I'm not like real, and that like really just like it's so bad. It's really just it really triggers me. My second trigger that I have written down is driving, and I said driving is also a huge trigger. I just always feel depersonalized while driving, and I think it has to do with the fact that there's such a huge life or death responsibility placed on me while I'm operating a vehicle, and my brain thinks that if I go into depersonalization mode, it'll be better. My brain will be better able to cope with possible stress that can come about. Yeah, so basically driving's also another huge trigger for me. Like I don't really like driving if me and my friend are going somewhere, and like most of my friends like live near me, so I'm just like, yeah, just like come pick me up. Like I really, unless I like have to drive, I really like don't want to. It's not that I don't enjoy driving, like I'm a really good driver. It's just the fact that like I'm just so, and I constantly have like when I'm driving, I'm constantly like, I don't remember turning into this lane. I don't remember doing, and it makes me feel like if I got into an accident while I was driving while depersonalized, it makes me feel that if I got into an accident, I would like not, I wouldn't not remember the accident, but I wouldn't understand the intensity, or like I wouldn't understand the responsibility, or not even that. It's just that I wouldn't I wouldn't respond how I would have responded before depersonalization. I feel like emotionally numb, and that's really something that comes about when I'm driving too. It's like I would feel like I just know my brain would be up here, like way up here, looking down at me, and that really is just kind of a scary feeling. And I would rather not drive if someone else could drive instead. Yeah, so that's my like second huge trigger. Let me know if that's really common. Let me know if you have that. Also, my third trigger I wrote down is just any stressful situation in general will make my brain want to be somewhere other than in the moment. So a lot of times my like parents or my friends will like talk about stressful shit that doesn't need to be stressful. Like it'll be a situation that like totally doesn't need to be stressful, but like they'll make it into the most like stressful thing ever, and it's like that's like what their voice gets, and it's just so I like can't do it. Like if the stress like doesn't need to be there, like it literally like it's kind of a blessing like having depersonalization, because it's like you can like figure out like what actually like figure out what real shit is, you know. you don't need to be like extra about shit. You don't need to be like super stressful about shit that doesn't need stress, you know? Like today I was at lunch with my family and we were talking about like college applications because I'm applying to a bunch of different colleges, and they were just like my sister and my dad, they're just like, yeah, you need to get those done. And it's like I understand like I need to, but it's like you don't need to, like we don't need to be having this conversation while we're out at lunch, you know what I mean? Like you're ruining and it's just like the tension, like stressful tension is just like it doesn't need to be there. And it's like you need to like calm the fuck down. So that's like my third trigger. My fourth trigger, I said it was any substances such as weed or alcohol immediately makes me go into depersonalization mode. Even if I just smell weed, it makes me feel depersonalized. Alcohol still makes me go depersonalized, but alcohol makes me just not really care if I'm depersonalized or not. I'll feel the depersonalized feeling while drunk. I just won't give a shit about it. And that feeling of not caring about depersonalization while drunk helps me not care about being depersonalized while sober. And like that's also what I've kind of found out is like I don't like do drugs or I don't do any of that shit, but like whenever I'm like with my friends or we're at a party or something and like I will drink some, it's like I just like I feel very like you feel depersonalized a lot more under any influence of any shit. That's why it's all bad shit. Like never do any of it. But you will feel it. But like just with alcohol, it somewhat makes it so it's like you don't really give a shit about feeling it. And like I don't want to like drink anymore. But like that's the only good part about me ever like having a sip of anything is that like it makes you not really care about like I'll be like, oh my god, like how did I even end up here? But it's like then it's like I don't really give a shit anyway. And so that kind of helps when you're like not under the influence of anything. It just kind of like changes your mentality about it, how it's just like bullshit to deal with depersonalization and how really it's just anxiety. And the more that you don't give a shit about it, the less it rules your life. So that's like the only positive thing I've ever gone out of like getting lit with my, you know, it's just stupid teenager shit, but that's the only like good takeaway from it. Anyway, trigger number 5, I said anyone who is a compulsive liar really stirs up my depersonalization. Anyone that tries to manipulate reality or my perceptions immediately has to get the fuck out of my life. I have a hard time with perception and reality without them, and if someone is lying to me about multiple things and gaslighting me, I seriously cannot stand it. It makes me question my truth and perception, so it's just a big no, fuck you. Yeah, so I really just can't deal with like liars or people that gaslight. Like gaslighting is like if someone gaslights you, it's like they're saying that X happened when Y in reality happened, and you know that Y happened, but they're like, no, like X happened, and they like won't give up, and they like fuck with your like perception. So like that really just like fucks with me. Like I can't, if you're lying about pointless shit and you're like gaslighting, or not at the same time, but like if you do one or the other, like I really just cannot be around you. Like you're not good for me. Like I can't, like if you're trying to like screw with my perceptions and my reality, that's just like a big fuck you, because it's like I have a hard time dealing with that shit on my own, like constantly having like ego deaths all the time and shit. Like fuck you, like I don't need your shit in my life. Yeah, so that's number 5. And then number 6, I said, thinking, talking, or watching a video about hardcore drug experiences really just trigger me. I can't stand listening or thinking about how people use drugs and get insanely high in their experiences. It just makes me have flashbacks to my own experiences and makes me question sanity. So I said this one because when I was in school last year, we were in my history class and we were watching a video about like the 70s psychedelic movement, where everyone was, or like all of the popular musicians were doing LSD, shrooms, like all that shit. And I remember vividly, it's not like a memory problem, it's just that I like remember in the moment that my like brain is like just like wants to be somewhere else, and like it like gets out of my own brain. Okay, anyway, so I was sitting there like watching the video, and it was like that very you know that like hypnotized thing where it's like, and it, like there's that music, and it's like there's like a spiral, and it's like all different colors. Like that was part of the video, and that just really made me like, honestly, like in that moment I like wanted to puke, because it's like just like anything that I just like, there's a common theme in like each one of these things. It's like anything that like makes me question my reality, my sanity, or my perceptions is just like I can't deal with it. Like I don't like, I don't want to fuck with it. I can't, like, it's too hard to like deal with on a day in day out basis. So watching like documentaries about like how people get high, like it just, I would rather, like, I used to love watching that shit because it's like interesting as fuck. After depersonalization, I just really can't stand it, you know, like listening to people like, oh yeah, I like overdosed and I like blacked out, and then like I was on ecstasy and LSD at the same time, and like I just like was watching a concert and I just like blacked out. Like how is that enjoyable for one, you, two, me to listen to? Like, no thank you. Like that's not like a fun time. Anyway, so that was like all my 6 triggers that I wrote down. I'm sure I have a bunch more. But like if you have any of the same ones or you have different ones, like please comment down below. Yeah, I really like want to like hear you guys out, like listen to what you have to say, because honestly, like I feel like a lot of people could relate to what I'm saying. Also, so the title of this video is probably like my depersonalization triggers plus my medicine or my medication. So, oh fuck, hold on, I dropped my CBD. So here's like what I take. I take 2 of these every single day. I didn't take one today, and I've been awake for about 3 hours, and like my depersonalization's like kind of here. So like this like really helps. Like it works instantly too. Like I'll take it on camera right now. Hold on. Cheers. I usually wash it down with like 2 or 3 more gulps of water. And I know it doesn't like it's in a capsule, and I know it doesn't like dissolve instantly or whatever, but for some reason it just kind of like works instantly for me. Like as like that's kind of scary. That's kind of scary. You can like just hear like how sort of I like calm down like literally within a second. I don't know what that is, but like it just kind of works instantly. Hold on. And it's like it's not even like it's like hit the bloodstream or it's dissolved or whatever, but it's just I think the instantly working part of the CBD oil that I take is that it's a placebo. But it definitely works. Like I've given a pellet to my sister. She's tried it. She says it like works. It really, she doesn't have anything like anxiety, nothing. It's just like it helps manage her stress. But yeah, like I don't know. I think the first part is just a placebo, but as you can tell, I'm like not talking as fast. I'm just like kind of calm right now. Yeah, I don't know. So I'm gonna go like tan right now. But anyway, comment down below if you have had those certain triggers, like I've just mentioned the whole video, and like the video if you found this helpful or relatable. And subscribe for more videos because I will be making more videos. So on depersonalization and other topics eventually. But yeah. So just remember, guys, it's not depersonalization is not forever, and it's really just a matter of perception, reality, and sanity. So stay strong, and you guys will get over this. So thank you, and have a great day.